Tonight, we are going to talk about something I get DM'd almost on a weekly basis, which is the vegan diet. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Coach Rose Peterson. I'm a certified personal trainer, both in person and online, and a certified nutrition coach. I help moms locally in Las Vegas, Nevada, and all over the world shed the weight holding them back from becoming their most energetic and authentic version of themselves so they can go after their deepest desires alongside of motherhood. You can find me at fitandconfidentmoms.com. So first, let's just talk about protein and why it's important, because I talk to so many moms, they are not getting enough protein, myself included, which is one of the reasons why I track. Protein is super important. It is the body's primary source of building muscle and lean mass. The effects of having too little or too much will be majorly felt in your strength, recovery, and feeling satisfied from your meals. So if you are trying to eat healthier, maybe you're trying to lose weight, we got to prioritize protein as the base of all of our meals. Too little protein, we may not feel satisfied or full after our meals. It's going to get in the way of our recovery. We're not going to build lean mass as quickly as we want to. And for women, we already have a disadvantage. We don't build quite as fast as a man would. Let's make sure that we have all our advantages, like eating protein. Protein has a lot of crucial jobs. I know we just talked about muscle and recovery, but protein also helps make many hormones. This includes hormones that manage our appetite, balance blood sugar, and hormones that help support us feeling happy and relaxed. I know we want more of that, right, moms? Protein also supports the immune system. Without enough protein, we can become easily sick and frail, and we can recover slower from illness. Protein also improves our body composition, right? It helps us shed fat, it helps us gain or maintain muscle mass, and it helps us stay lean for life. Not only that, but protein is physically satisfying. Protein actually takes longer to digest, and that's why a lot of low-carb diets can be successful, is because they're eating a lot of protein. You feel really full consuming that much protein, and you may fall into a calorie deficit because how much protein can you really eat? So it helps you feel fuller, you get in that calorie deficit, and you can lose weight. Protein also helps maintain our muscle mass and helps us stay lean for life. Be less hungry between your meals if you make sure that you prioritize protein. I know I sound like a broken record, like protein. Like, make sure we prioritize protein. Moms, we're so bad at that. And I hate to knock you, but we are, and me included. That's why I'm tracking right now. Lastly, protein helps build and repair almost every tissue in the body. That includes muscle, connective tissues such as your tendons, ligaments, and your bones. More protein equals better recovery, more muscle, less fat, stronger, healthier body. I know you want all that. So no matter what your goals are, having a solid protein intake is one of the most important practices you can do for your overall health. Now, what you've been waiting for. If you're mostly a plant-based eater, you have to do some careful planning to make sure you can meet your protein needs. It can be done. Most vegans I know and people who are transitioning to vegan diets, they have a wide variety of whole foods in their diets, and we know that grains, lots of vegetables, even some fats like avocado, those all have protein in it. So every little bit does add up. It's also kind of important, even when you're on a vegan diet, to kind of track, to make sure we're getting enough and look at to see where it adds up. It's hard to get enough protein accidentally. You actually need planning involved, and that includes with a vegan diet. If we're not tracking closely, sometimes we can be low on protein. One way to get enough protein is through other foods like grains. So there are a lot of higher protein grains. Those include amaranth, buckwheat, millet, oats, quinoa is another high protein grain, sorghum, spelt, teff, and wild rice are all higher protein grains. And then of course, beans and legumes, those are higher in protein. We got black, red, white, pinto, chickpeas, edamame, lentils. There's all kinds of bean-based noodles and pastas now. That's a really smart idea to try to get more of your proteins through your grains. Not only are grains and legumes higher in protein, but like I said, said, having this whole foods diet, there's also protein in other foods like peas, broccoli has protein, Brussels sprouts has protein. Making sure that you have a wide variety of veggies, every gram of protein counts, okay? There are benefits to a fully plant-based diet. So studies have shown that people who have a plant-only diet, they reduce their risk for disease. A number of studies show this. Now, straight from Precision Nutrition, when researchers in Belgium use an online questionnaire to ask nearly 1,500 vegans, vegetarians, semi-vegetarians, pescatarians, and omnivores about their food intake, they found that vegans scored highest on the healthy eating index. But there's an important caveat. The vegans and fully plant-based eaters that scored higher in the healthy eating index, it's not because they forgoed meat. That's not the reason. It's because they included more minimally processed plant foods in their diets. They weren't healthier because they gave up meat. They were healthier because they were eating way more whole foods, way more vegetables, more fruits, more beans, nuts, and seeds. So in other words, many fully plant-based eaters tend to have a whole food, plant-based approach. That's huge. And I think we all know that. We need more veggies in our diet, and we will be healthier for it if we do. There was another study that they found that the heart disease risk depended on the types of plant foods that people consumed. The ones that were mostly minimally processed, they were the ones at lower risk. But probably all know not everyone is a perfect vegan. We're not perfect eaters. The vegans that had a lot of processed food in their diets, like fries, sweet, sugary beverages, and other highly processed foods, they still had an increased risk for heart disease. So it all comes down to really eating a whole foods diet, including lots of plants, vegetables, and fruits. A lot of different plant-based protein powders. And my advice on that is to try a few to see what you like, because I have found that some of my clients, some plant-based protein powders are hard to digest for them. And then the other thing, there is a label that is really hard to get, but I look for it. And it's a clean label that says that they've tested their product for heavy metals. There's a really good video out there by Lane Norton. If you're on Instagram, Lane Norton did it's either him or one of his colleagues, but it's on his page, a whole video series on which protein powders are the most effective for building muscle. I would recommend going to Lane Norton's IG page. That's Norton. He has a really good video breaking down the amino acid complex and which type of vegan protein powder supports what and which combinations. Are you thinking of transitioning to a fully plant-based diet or partially plant-based? If you're thinking of transitioning to a fully plant-based diet, my advice is to start slow. It can be really overwhelming to try to change everything at once. That's always my advice, is to go baby steps. Change one meal at a time, or add in more plants at a time as a way to transition to vegan eating. Lastly, we're going to talk about losing weight while on the vegan diet. So losing weight while you're on a vegan diet works exactly the same as losing weight on a regular meat and plants-based diet, which means you have to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight. And when you're vegan, it's kind of tricky, right? My advice would be is you still have to practice portion control, and you still have to track. You got to make sure that you're eating less calories than you burn. If you're a vegan, it's actually even more important for you to track to make sure you're getting enough protein and you're not overeating your fats or your carbs. Some tips I can give you if you're trying to lose weight while you're eating vegan: make sure that your protein's high. Load half your plate in veggies. Avoid liquid calories. Watch your cooking oil intake. Watch your nuts intake. And lastly, watch out for vegan junk food. There's a lot of vegan junk food out there. These rules even apply to someone who's not vegan and trying to lose weight.
And if you watch this to the end, I know that making changes to your fitness and nutrition is really important to you. And as an active mom of 3, I also understand how hard it is to do it on your own without support. And that's why I would love for you to join our free community at fitandconfidentmoms.com. There's a whole group of women and busy moms just like you waiting to support you and root for you. So if you join, make sure you say hi and share with us your journey. I'm rooting for you always. Bye-bye.